Hi there, I'm Dr. Marie Fang, licensed psychologist. Today we're going to take a look at what Jesus has to say about dealing with loneliness through his reminder that we are not alone. And I'm sure many of you may have heard this passage. We're reading from Matthew 28, verses 19 and 20. Jesus says to his disciples, "Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age." And that's the last that Jesus has to say in the book of Matthew. That's where the book of Matthew ends. It's like, mic drop, surely I'm with you to the end of the age. There's nothing else to say here. So I appreciate that note to end on. And there's something about that verse that can be quite reassuring. We know that Jesus is with us, even though we can't see him or be with him in the physical realm the way that the disciples were able to. But he is still with us all the time, always. And yet, at the same time, some of us might know that in our head knowledge or want to believe that, but it doesn't necessarily feel that way. I know Jesus is with me, but I feel alone. And that's a difficult land to live in for any human. We are not designed to feel alone, and we don't do well when we feel alone. So I want to talk a little bit about attachment styles and how this might interact with this idea of we know in our heads that Jesus is with us, but we don't feel it. We feel alone. And research on how we interact in relationships shows that we sort of develop these default attachment modes in our relationship from a very early age. And there's a lot of information about that. I'll offer some links in the description below if you're interested in learning more. But essentially, for those who have a safe relationship with their primary caregiver when they are really little, develop what's called a secure attachment style. And that means that even when their caregiver isn't nearby, they can't see them, they can't talk to them, they're not around, there's an internal sense of, I know that they're there for me and I'm cared for. So we don't feel alone even when our loved ones are far away. And we can carry that with us even as we become adults. We tend to carry our same attachment style with us, and we project that onto God as well. Meanwhile, there's others who have other types of attachment styles that are not so secure. And what that can mean is that even though we might know in our minds that our loved ones care for us and are there for us, that when they're not around and we can't see them, touch them, interact with them, talk to them, that we can feel really alone. And it's difficult to internalize the knowledge that we're cared for and we're loved. So if this might be you, you may be projecting that onto God, and no amount of willpower is going to change how that feels. And so my suggestion for you, if this could be you, is to find those people that you do trust and do care for you, and ask them to help you be reminded of how they care for you, even when they're not around. Maybe it's just a simple text message in the middle of the workday from a spouse or a good friend, that you would be helped by them reaching out and just reminding you that they think of you, they see you, they know you're there, and they care for you. And having these kinds of reminders from our loved ones can help begin to shift our attachment styles and to help us be able to include God in that journey as well. And of course, we can ask God for help with that too, that maybe he might be able to send those reminders to us in his own way, so that we can be helped to know that he's there and he loves us and we're not alone. Well, I hope you found some of these thoughts helpful to you today. And until next time, I'm Dr. Marie Fang, and I hope you have a great day.